channel. So today I want to address my first time flyers. I know there's a lot of people out there who maybe don't know their way through the airport, and I know my first time, the first time I ever flew, all of my documents and everything was handed to me. So the next time when I flew, I had no idea what I was doing. I'm just going to talk about check-in, boarding pass, TSA, all that good stuff. So if you have no idea what you're doing in the airport, just keep watching. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to check in online. It's the fastest way to get your boarding pass, and I'll talk about your boarding pass a little bit later. Checking in is the process of telling the airport that you are ready to get on that plane. The best way to check in is to check in online. You can either log on to your airline's website and check in that way, or most of the time when I fly, I'll get an email saying that I am clear to check in. I can just click the check in now button and they'll give me a way to get my boarding pass. If you do check in online, make sure that you have access to your phone at the airport. Either take a snapshot of your boarding pass so that you can access it offline, just in case you can't access the internet while you're at the airport for some reason, you'll be able to have it. Most of the time, I know I fly American a lot, and when I check in, I can just check in. They'll send me an email saying that I'm ready to check in. I can click check in now and they'll let me print my boarding pass. And sometimes it is crucial to have a paper copy just in case, like I said, you can't access your phone. You can't access the Wi-Fi, your phone dies. For whatever reason, it is always best to have a paper copy. So you can use your phone as your boarding pass, but you should also have a paper copy if you can. If you check in online and you have a checked bag, you can just bypass the line and put it on the counter. Your bag will need to be weighed, they'll put a sticker on it, and then you'll be good to go on to the security checkpoint. So your boarding pass, this is what your boarding pass will look like. And of course I mentioned that I use American and this is a United boarding pass. So this is what your boarding pass looks like. It'll have your name and where you're going, your time. It also has your this is your boarding time. This bold one right here, this is your boarding time. The boarding time is the boldest because that's when they want you to be at your gate for boarding. It also has your flight departure and your arrival in your destination city. This will have your seat number and your boarding group. You will need this and a form of identification when going through the security checkpoint. Now, if you're flying internationally, you should already have your passport, which you can use as your form of identification. It just needs to be a government-issued ID, driver's license, or passport. So you'll need an ID and your boarding pass to get through the security checkpoint. You will need both of these, and you might need both of them at the gate, so keep them handy. I always keep them in an outside pocket, either on my purse or on my bag, so I can just pull them out and have them ready. And when I say ready, I don't mean you know where they are, I mean in your hand. It will make your life so much easier if you have them ready. Because once you get up to the line, they're going to push you through right away. It's the waiting in line that takes a long time. Now, the security checkpoint is the thing that takes the most time. So a lot of people say get there an hour before your flight. And this is true, but you want to get there an hour before your flight if you're flying domestic, which means in the same country. And if you are flying internationally, which means to another country, then you're going to want to get there 2 hours. And these times are just so that you can get through the security line and get to your gate on time. So personally, I like to tack on another 15 minutes onto the time of however early I need to be there. So if I need to be there an hour early, then I will be there an hour and 15 minutes early, just for unforeseen circumstances, like if my taxi gets lost, or if I know I was flying with a friend once and she needed a wheelchair and we ended up waiting 30 minutes for that. So just for things like that, I personally like to tack on 15 minutes. And I do want to mention those 1 or 2 hour times, they do apply to connection times, because if your connection is international, the first thing you're going to do when you get off the plane is go through customs, and that can take a long time too. They're looking at all of your documents, making sure that everything is in order before you come into the country. So if you have a connection in that country, then customs is going to take a long time and you won't be able to get to your flight. Domestic isn't as bad. It's just the matter of getting from one side of the airport to the other, because you don't have to go through customs. But I still like to leave myself an hour. It's better to be waiting there than to be late and missing your flight. The next step is to get your luggage and your person screened. So a lot of times, almost always, you will have to take out any electronics, your phone, your camera, or your laptop. It's best to just listen to the TSA, what they have to say, because I've had multiple times where I've been told to take out my electronics on the way to my destination, and then on the way back, they just told me to leave it in. So I don't know if maybe that was dependent on times, how long the line was, you know, who's working. I don't know what that was dependent on. So just listen to the TSA on that. But you will almost always need to take out your 311 bag. And what that bag is, your liquids bag. You get 3-ounce bottles, as many as you can fit in one quart sized bag. So you can have as many liquids as you want in 3 ounces or less in one quart sized bag. And you will almost always need to take that out and put it in a bin to be scanned separately. I did get stopped for a candle once, which aren't necessarily against the TSA rules and regulations, but just because it looked like a gel in the x-ray, I got stopped and my bag did get searched. So just be careful of that. So you'll push through your luggage, push through all your bins, and then you will step through, it looks like a giant metal detector, and that will scan your person. Once you are out of that, the TSA will check the screen just to make sure that you don't have any weapons on yourself, and then you are good to go. You can go find your gate. Now, once you've gotten through security, there will be a departure screen or board that you can look at to find your gate. You just need to find your departure time, which again is on your boarding pass, where you are going, and what gate you will be at. Like I said, all of your information is on here except your gate number. Your gate number is not on your boarding pass because gate numbers change so fast. Your gate number may be A at 11 o'clock, and then 11:02 it might be C, and you'll have to get from A to C. So after you get through the security checkpoint, there will be a big departures board, and that's where you will find your gate number. Just find the time that you are leaving, the place that you are going, and then it will tell you what your gate number is. I would suggest getting to your gate fairly quickly. There are a lot of stops along the way, coffee shops, bookshops, little trinket shops. You might want to stop, but it's best to just get to your gate as soon as possible because each little gate has their own sort of PA system, and if your gate is changing, that's how they will notify you. You can also sign up for the text message alerts that will also tell you if your gate is changing, but most of the time they'll tell you over the PA system if your gate is changing and what it's changing to. So you want to get there as soon as possible so you don't miss anything. If you do get to your gate and the gate is not where the plane is not going to where you are going, you can ask anybody and they'll tell you which gate you need to be at. So once you get to your gate, you're just waiting to board. And like I mentioned before, your boarding group number is the order in which you will board the plane. Most of the time, handicapped or priority 1 seating will be in group 1, and then anyone else is in 2 or 3. So it's just the order in which you board the plane. They'll call you up by group number, and then you'll be ready to get on the plane. Now once you're on the plane, you are going to stick your carry-on in the overhead bin and find your seat. Again, your boarding pass will have your seat number on it. And the way the plane is set up is that your rows are numerical and your seats are alphabetical. So most of the time you will go A, B, C, D, E, and F. And you just have to look for that. Your seat number will be printed on the overhead bin. So you just have to find your seat, which will be printed on the overhead bin. Sit down, buckle up, and prepare for takeoff. So then once you land, a stewardess or a flight attendant will come over the overcom and they will tell you where to pick up your bags. Now, as I mentioned before, if you had a checked bag that you gave in at check-in, that bag has gone underneath the plane and has flown with you to your destination, and they are now loading it into a baggage claim. It's just a little conveyor belt for everybody's bag. The stewardess will tell you which baggage claim your bag will be unloaded into, and you can just follow the signs in the airport to that baggage claim. They make it fairly simple. Once you get off, you just head towards baggage claim, and they'll be numbered, and you can just pick up your bags there. It really benefits you if your bag is not all black. If you have the funkiest bag, it'll be easier to find. So that's it. I don't think I have anything else to say. I hope this video got you guys from first time flyer to airport pro. Bye guys. This is what your boarding pass looks like. It'll have all your information on it, you know, your name, where you're going, what time, your boarding time.
Whoa.
Now, one of the things I do want to mention is that you can check in online before you actually get to the airport. You can log on to your airline. You'll be their favorite person because not everybody listens to them, and that makes them cranky. So at this point, you're going to want to listen to them. And one of the things I can tell you, there's a train. Potential weapon, anything that may not be allowed, any kinds of liquids that are over. Now, once you